Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, and today's video is going to be about some dust collection for the edger. I had went to Harbor Freight and they are closing out these little sawdust blowers. A nice little unit, 4-inch intake. I believe it's either a 4 or 5-inch discharge. What we're going to do is we're going to get this little guy here, basically a furnace fitting. We're going to do some modifications on this. It'll take the sawdust from the bottom of the edger into the blower and into either maybe an IBC tote or a 55-gallon drum or some sort of container, so that we don't have to get underneath that thing and play groundhog every time we edge boards. So the first thing I can see, we got a little bit of a problem right there. They have a piece of wire metal, or like a piece of screen in here, and that is going to clog up, I'll guarantee it. So let's get a couple tools, let's pull this face off, and let's see how we can modify this thing and make it work on the edger. And this is a small enough motor, amperage wise it should work off our little Harbor Freight generator. So let's get rolling. All right, just a few Phillips screws holding this front on. Looks like there's some sort of gasket in there. So let's see what makes this thing tick. And I figured she'd be on there tight. So we're gonna get something to pry this off. All right. Just a little sticky. This little piece of screen here, we're going to go ahead and cut that off. Shouldn't take much to clip that off, and then we'll go ahead and put this back on. Looks like a pretty decent set of impellers in here, and that should work very well for the sawdust on the edger. It's a real fine sawdust, almost like a table saw, and yeah, this right here is going to be a problem. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that off. We'll put this back together, and then we're going to work on something to do with the discharge, how we're going to send that sawdust to a container. Well, let's give this thing a place to exit the sawdust to. Well, this comes with the actual little sawdust blower, and it's got this screen in there again. And if you look at it, it's a lot bigger. The hose will not fit on there. So the accessory kit come with a couple of these little flanges. So all I did is cut this down to size. We poked some holes in there. It comes with all the little nuts and bolts, little gaskets, and I think this is going to work out okay. So it's plastic, but if we route the hose where we want to go and don't put too much strain on it, I don't think we're going to have any issues with that thing breaking. So I'm going to get a couple of these little nuts. Looks like there's some sort of a self-lock. I got to find a pair of pliers here for a second. Let's just get a couple started. That way the vibration don't work these things loose. They're what they call nylocks. And that will give us the capability to hold the hose on there with just a clamp, and we won't have to get too creative. So now we got a situation where the sawdust can come in and exit very freely. Let me just grab a little pair of pliers here. My little mini vice grips. And that's the only bad thing. Everything there is metric, kind of a pain in the rear end. You don't want to over tighten these up, they will crack. So we'll bolt this on. We'll see how the hoses lock on here. And I think we're on to something here now. And also I'd noticed in this kit, it was well worth what you get. There's this little pan here. I might be able to adapt this or that furnace flange. I'm not sure. We're gonna have to get a little creative on this. But yeah, the sawdust will come down that little chute out of the edger, and away it goes. And this thing, I did fire it up. In fact, we can plug it back in here real quick. And you don't want to do this. You don't want to do that. you'll get hurt, okay? For all the safety police out there. So anyhow, it's got some pretty good, here's that little bag I gave you. You can see, you'll fill this little bag up with air in a second. This is what it was designed to do, is to catch the sawdust in a bag, but that would fill up in probably about 45 seconds. So, and you do not want to, again, for the safety people, don't stick your hand in there when it's spinning. It'll hurt you. So just making sure, all the safety people out there. But we did take the screen off, and I think that's going to be a big improvement. We won't have to worry about you know, little pieces of wood getting stuck against her. We'd be taking this hose off more than we'll be edging. So I think we're going to get something together for that catcher part, and then we're going to go up to the mill and hook this thing up and run a couple boards. I'm anxious to see what it's going to do. Let's get down to the business end of this dust collector for the edger. So while we were off camera, I took some time just to take off these little drives, which were riveted, or they might have been actually, I don't know what you call the term. They basically spot weld it, makes like a rivet head on it. So I drilled all them out. I was able to unfold these little flaps here. So I could have probably found a wider furnace. This is actually where the register terminates into from pipe. So this is actually where your register would mount. But I'm thinking to do is, your scrap wood around your shop is your friend. This was some pieces off of Alex's bar. We actually did some test work with stain, so this stuff was going to go right to the wood burner for starter wood. So what a better thing to do is experiment with some junk, and then that way, once this thing works, or it's ready to go, we put this in the edger and we test it with a few feet of lumber. We'll run 10, 20,000 feet of wood through it, and then we'll see how it behaves. And if this is no good, we throw it away and we redesign. So if you went ahead and had something made custom and it didn't work, you wasted a lot of money. So use scrap plywood, whatever you have. The inside of this thing will be roughly 20 inches, and the boards that we edge, not many are over 12 to 16 inches, so this should be more than enough. If we do get an occasional wider board and we get a little overspray, I'm not really worried about it, but I want the sawdust to roll down off of the little tray that comes out of the edger right into this box, and this will have a bit of a negative air pressure going from the air movement, so it should draw that dust down in here, down into here, and away it goes. So let's just shoot this thing together with some staples. In fact, I might get some glue and put on here, because if it works good, it'll last a little bit longer. And if it works real good, I'll fabricate this out of some plate. So we can easily make this out of some 1/8-inch steel plate. Use the plasma torch on it, cut it into some nice pieces. We can fabricate, but why do that now if you don't know if it's going to work? And I'm just going to put this piece in here for now just to keep the width right, because that's going to be the bottom. So we might as well get that spacing correctly right now. It's always fun to create things, especially out of scrap. So we'll leave that sitting there. Nope. Oh well. In fact, it is actually Friday Eve. It is the 2nd of January. I just got done publishing the video on the channel. So I was inside answering comments, which thank you so much for all the kind comments. And I says, I better come out here and start working on this, because this isn't going to finish itself. Plus, I want to see how good this blower is going to work. It really got me interested to see what's going to happen. All right, now that's going to be the basic collector box. This guy is going to, well, we're going to come up through the bottom because the pan will not allow it to do it. It's not wide enough. So we're just going to squeeze it all in there, just like magic. And that's about what we want to see. We want that to sit down very low so that the sawdust has to drop to get into there. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this wood, and we're going to create two little ramps to continue that slope. So if you look at that, the sawdust will follow that down in, and away it goes. So I'm going to go ahead and get these pieces cut, and we'll finish tacking this together. And with any luck, we'll take a ride up to the mill here on the same video, try to rig this thing onto the edger somehow. And hunky ingenuity is always good. Just use what you have, make it as simple as possible. And I'm not sure how I'm going to suspend this on the edger, but once I get it up there, I'll know. And all we have to do is get a 90 off the bottom of this into that flexible hose, and hopefully we don't have enough clearance from that tray down to the ground, which I believe we do. We'll hook the hose on, and I think the business end of this is coming along. So I'll show you this when I got it all shot together, and we're going to do some tests. All right, that's what we come up with. And I added a little board on the actual collection box there to help direct the sawdust into that little box that we had built. So it comes out of there through the hose into the blower, comes out of the blower, and we're just going to put it in a steel can for now just to see how it works. So we're going to go ahead and fire up the edger here, and we're going to go ahead and try it out, see how it works. All right, let's saw up a couple logs here to get some boards to edge, then try out that new dust system on the edger. So I figure I'd give you a little different content, and we'll do something even if it's wrong. All right, but we'll have to make some more adjustments on the collection system, I'm sure. But when you're trying to develop something, it's all trial and error. Sometimes it takes longer to get something right. All right. Oh, this little log here. Let's see if it'll dog down where it's out. And I think it will. It's got a couple little crooks in it. Things are warmed up a little bit now, so not like the first video we did today. Gee, it's a little cold. That'll take one more. It's actually a pretty little log. There we go. Let's put that back to the knees. Chewy's still a little cold. There we go. And you can see the laser real good in the snow there. Let's just start there. stuff on this snack video. And eventually I'll build a permanent collector box for it. But we're in the proving grounds right now. We're trying to just take one more off to get it down to closer to 6 inches. But that's how you develop something. You play with it until it works. It's engineering. It's very basic. Some engineers think that they are the greatest people on earth, but they visually can't see something. All right. I think I'm going to bump that back out a little bit. We'll try that. Let's just take that off. That's better. If you have tapers, use them. That's why I don't want to put cant turn downs on this mill, because I will lose my tapers. I think I'd rather have my tapers. All right, let's roll this back. Only thing with the tapers, you got to remember, put them back. All right. Yeah, when they put the controls for the tapers right off to the side, you go back to some of my older videos. I did a few sawmill tours of the cab and all the controls. So spend some time in the winter time and go back and look at some of the older videos. I'm gonna take a little, get that face cleaned up a little bit more. There you go. You're better to do that than the waist length. So this is where top and bottom down to 4 inches, and this little log will be done. You see where the dot is, where the pith is, so we're going to put that back against the knees. And run it down to 4 inches. And where's the flicker? There it is. Just clean that face up. Let's take it down to 4. Looks all right. All right, let's roll that back and take it down to 4, and we're done here with this log. To have a little finesse with Chewy. All right, we're down to our 4, so let's just take it off, take the brakes off. It is just like a parking brake. All right, let's get one more. Then we'll have enough stuff to edge off and try out our dust system. Our little generator really isn't like it. It'll run it once it starts, but it's just that initial startup with that capacitor. So we might have to look into alternative power sourcing here. Liking that. Happened twice today that the log didn't need turned a bunch when it went on the carriage. Oh, I think I'm going to do the same thing now. I'm going to take this stuff. Let's get that out a little bit further. That's better. Not looking too bad. Oh, where are we at in the pith there? Let's turn it. Start there. One more. All right, let's lay that down. Work us some north and south. Like that. Cut some length off of there. Yeah, we got some rot going on there where the knot was. Get on there. All right. Perfect. One-edged board. Yeah, this isn't the greatest looking wood, no. Oh, let's see. See if we have any other better options here before we give up on it. That face is real close to the pit, but let's get one off of there anyway. There it is. Board will be down to our 4 inches. Let's just take a, there we go, a little whisker off of there. This thing looks like it's ready to crack in half. I hope it don't do nothing stupid, but it might. Tell you what, I'm just going to take it down to 4. That to blow up on me. Yeah, they get a little dangerous like that. All right, everybody, we'll catch you here at the end. All right, the moment of truth. Bringing the sawdust where it should. We just got to come up with a better container. Just too much air going in there. So if we could bring it up higher, we'll see what that does. That's going to work once we come up with a better containment system. So it looks like this is a success story. We'll build a more of a permanent collector box for it. Getting a little bit of overspray, but not too bad. much better than it was. So, all right. All right, that was our first test with our new little sawdust blower. I think the blower has plenty of volume and power. We got to do a little cleanup on reconstructing the box a little bit, and then on the delivery end, we need to come up with a way to put it in a 55-gallon drum and let the air come out and let the sawdust fall.
Go into the drum.
There you go. See, that's all it takes right there. Yeah.
Suggestive. It's suggestive.
Yeah, and then here's your cherry that we had sawed up, and this has been accumulating for a while, so it's getting there. But
It's getting bigger.
yeah, I just want to make you a different snack video.
That'd be interesting.
And I didn't know how it was going to work. It worked out better than I thought it was going to work, but we got to make some improvements. That's why you build stuff out of plywood and scrap, and then you improve on that.
Exactly.
And
I think it will work just fine.
yeah, and it's hunky ingenuity, and that's the best kind of engineering there is. So, hey, thanks again, and we will catch you on the next video, and we're sawing.
We're not even going to say it.
Oh,
you know what it is.
Yeah, I said it. I'm sorry. All right, thanks again.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.